Hello, folks. This is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers. Hope that you're having a good day. Today is Sunday, and we're going to be talking about taxes. There are a number, or at least a few, states that do not have state tax, and it's a growing number of communities that are getting rid of the local income tax as well. But today we're going to talk about some of the other taxes. One of them is land taxes. There are several states that are looking to adjust their land taxes. Some of them, at least 5 of them, are going to be getting rid of land taxes altogether, or at least are working on it. Now, here in the state of Ohio, where I live, there is a push to get rid of land taxes here as well. It is more in its infancy than some of the other states. Wyoming is one of the states that is talking about either eliminating or greatly reducing land taxes. And what they're talking about, from what I understand, is that if it is a piece of land that doesn't have a home on it, that it wouldn't be taxed. But if it is a home, it would be taxed, but at a limited amount. I'm seeing Texas and Florida and several other states that are also working on this, and it is starting to look like a number of these states are going to go ahead and eliminate land taxes altogether. So that's an interesting thing when you see it. And before President Trump is out of office, I believe you're going to see all of the states getting rid of land taxes. The federal government is starting to move on income taxes, and they are going to be getting rid of a lot of the income tax in a lot of the different areas, such as for senior citizens. He wants to get rid of taxes on tips and so on, but ultimately you're going to see that the tariffs are going to be essentially the main tax, and that's going to be a tax on businesses or on countries that bring products into the United States. The other thing is going to be that there is going to become a permanent sales tax, and that sales tax is going to be very interesting because it'll be on new products only. If you buy an existing home, for example, you won't be paying any sales tax on that. The only time that you would pay sales tax is if you would buy a new home, a new car, a new refrigerator, a new oven, a new furnace, a new water heater, things of that nature. The interesting thing about it is, and this is the thing that I wanted to talk about, is that I think that there's going to be a secondary market that is going to be able to reopen, because there are a lot of products out there that still have some use, and you can replace 1 or 2 items in that particular appliance, and all of a sudden you've got yourself a something you can use for another 4 or 5 years. And I think that that market is going to kind of get going. A part of it is going to be that the market is going to be a situation where people keep their old appliances and just have them repaired. But the other part of the market, I believe, is that people will trade in their old one on a new one, and then that old one will be sold to a company that goes ahead then and they fix it up and sell it in a secondary market. And I think that's going to become a real something that's going to be big in the future. Another thing that I would like to talk about, the agitators and the rioters that are out there trying to stop ICE and the military from arresting illegal aliens. They are beginning to find out who is behind it. One thing that kind of aggravates me is the fact that one of the organizations behind it is the Ford Foundation. Now, if that holds true, what that means then is that the Ford Motor Company, as well as the Ford family that owns 100% of the Detroit Lions, will be implicated. The son of Henry Ford is the one that started the Ford Foundation. Now, I have been a Detroit Lion, I guess you would say, fan, more or less, for 60 years. However, if the Ford Foundation is implicated in this, and if it turns out that they are supporting this along with the Soros organizations and the Buffett organizations and almost 100 other organizations that are big organizations that everybody knows about. If this is the case, I will no longer be a Detroit Lion fan. I won't, with good conscience, be able to support an organization or a team, for that matter, that is into supporting the kinds of rioting and so on. There are military people that are in harm's way. There are ICE agents and other people in the federal government that are in a relatively bad situation because of the fact that these idiots that have these foundations and other so-called organizations are going to try to fight. Now, I do realize that this is World War III, and I do realize that we are in the midst of the tribulation, and the tribulation is going to continue until God says enough is enough, and then those people will be transported off of Earth itself, and they will wind up somewhere else, and who knows where that's going to be, because it is a fact that God's will be done on earth as it is in heaven, and it is not God's will that people get killed. And that is exactly what is happening in these riots. People are getting killed. And this is going to have to stop. There is one other thing that I was wanting to talk about today, but because of the time, I think I'm going to just say this is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers, and I want you to have a good day. Good day always starts with good prayers, and if they reach the throne of God, well, that's your key. You're going to have a good day. And so with that said, folks, you have a good day.